You got in charge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The meeting has been posted in all meeting places. I need a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. The motion passes. Now we need a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve minutes.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Kris, it's up to you, man.
Oh, sure.
Realistic financial report.
Yes. The voucher listing for April 24th, 2019, May 22nd, 2019. General funds, payroll, checks numbers 553,733 through 553,735 for $875.01. Checks numbers 553,736 through 553,737 for $209.32. Then direct deposit numbers 900049175 through 900049277 for $134,802.86. Next direct deposit numbers 900049278 through 900049383 for $147,704.04.
Never got
It's really easy. Next, wire transfers for payroll. I have put these wires numbers 2018-00280 through 2018-00309 for $296,094.72 for total payroll of $579,685.95. Next, accounts payable. Checks numbers 53613 through 53657 for $122,133.77. Next, AP wire transfers 2018-00302 through 2018-00307 for $9,212.88. Next, we have a credit card transaction number 42219 for $24,833.35. Then ACH direct deposits numbers 181900153 through 181900162 for $1,161.60 for total accounts payable of $157,341.60. Total disbursements then of $737,027.55.
I can't.
I was making sure you were done.
We have a motion and a second. All those approve, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Delegations to be heard. Our esteemed guest did not want to speak today. So, unless you changed your mind. No.
I can speak if you want to.
Sure.
What would you like me to talk about?
Track. How's track going?
Really well. Qualified 2 relays and 3 individuals for state. Really happy about
Awesome.
it. So thank you for asking. Yeah, it went really well.
Your hurdler didn't make it?
He made it, yeah.
Oh, he made that, okay.
In both.
That's fantastic.
All right. On to district administrator's report.
Sure, we do have one donation. Mary Tilke donated $165 to the upcoming 2nd grade field trip to the Milwaukee Public Museum. So would like to thank Mary Tilke and make a motion, or I'm recommending the board make a motion to approve the donations as accepted, or as presented.
I'll make a motion to approve the donation as accepted. Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Personnel action.
I didn't ask if there was discussion. Katie was asking why. The reason why for that was there was a mix-up on the form that like the fuel surcharge or something wasn't incorporated in the bus fees or something like that, right? It was some weird.
It was an individual was completing the form for the first time, and that was miscalculated. So
We certainly did
ask for the donation,
Yeah.
Wow.
It's just how it is.
because we would cover that.
That will be,
That's
that
fine.
form is being, I'll be talking with Rebecca about that, revising that form to make it clear about how to come up with that calculation and work with the bus company, because the forms are just this side of Noah's Ark, so we're gonna be working on making those a little bit clearer for everybody involved, especially somebody who has to calculate this, and that's not part of the regular deal, so we'll be working on that, that's in the original file.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, personnel actions. Would like to thank Vicki Moore. She has resigned her speech and language position. Outstanding, again, 3 years of service. Her and her family are moving to the Sheboygan area. So as much as we tried to get her to commute, she denied that request. So she has been nothing but fantastic. Today, Lori, Jay, and a team of 3 individuals. There was 5 total. We did interview today and found hopefully some very good candidates, and I think we narrowed it down to 1. So we'll be bringing that recommendation next month as well too. So again, administration is recommending the board make a motion to approve the letter of resignation from Vicki Moore as presented.
I'll make a motion to approve the letter of resignation from Vicki Moore as presented.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
All right, information. We are winding up the school year. We are done June 7th, so we've got about 2 weeks left. So I guess the most important piece of information is Mr. Budish, for the past since 1996, has been attending the Merton Community School District Board of Education monthly meetings.
Some more exciting than others.
Some more exciting than others.
I'm trying.
No, you don't want to go there.
And this will mark his last one. So again, we've got some festivities coming up here. We've got some celebrations. And again, just wanted to publicly recognize Mike for, since 1996, October 96,
Halloween,
Halloween.
I was right about here.
I remember it well.
I'd like to thank the board for their ability to conduct a solid business meeting and get through agenda items and work on behalf of kids and teachers. Don't lose it. It's really easy to lose it. You get hung up on stuff, but just follow the vision that was planned by that team, and I encourage you to reflect on that as often as you can, because the minutia will kill you. And that's all I've got to say. Best of luck, and it's one of the most unappreciated jobs on the face of the earth. So thank you for what you do, and I appreciate all support of the leaders. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you very, very much. Again, more celebrations to come, celebrating the work that Mike has done on behalf of the children and families of our district, certainly. That's all I have.
Committee reports? Committee minute?
Sure. So we met last week on the 20th. We took a look at 2 things. And one of them was a request from 2nd grade to go 1-to-1. And they talked about a lot of either efficiencies or opportunities that they might have. This upcoming year, we have new Chromebooks, or hopefully later in the meeting, new Chromebooks coming for 4th grade, as well as some of our staff. So we would love to move some of those older Chromebooks into the 2nd grade, give them that opportunity. Continue to work with our technology team and coaching to continue to enhance their classrooms. So at the meeting too, there were 3 classroom teachers as well, and Melissa Krogan had her own school board meeting. That's why she wasn't there for that too. So the other topic that we talked about was 5th through 8th grade electives. So Jay's been working hard with his team and to create a really exciting palette. I'm really excited about the opportunities that we brought to kids this upcoming year in the area of electives too. Our teachers are really stepping up, and just really excited about next year's electives. And that'll start, I know Hayden came home already talking about it, so that process has already started. So, and that's obviously all part of our agenda and things like that. Okay.
All right. Principals reports.
Ryan, I mentioned something about that 1-to-1.
Sure.
I met with the second grade teachers last week, and I encouraged them to be proactive in providing information to the board on how they're using them, what the results were, and so forth. So I'm hopeful, make a note of that, they're on that as far as.
Taking notes.
Yeah, I know she's taking notes, I just want to say, that they'll be proactive in sharing with you. So it's not like, I wonder how it's going, the communication piece from the other side, that they provide, this is what's happening, this is what's going on, this sounds making a difference. So we made that a part of when we talked about big rocks, the little rocks in the fishbowl. One of the big rocks is the piece of technology and how that's going to look in grade 2 and how it can feed to third grade's expectations, but then it goes to fourth grade. So communicating those pieces, it was a really good conversation. So thank you. So look for that. Thanks.
All right. So I just wanted to start out, if you had a chance, I did not get to see the concert, Mike's concert on Monday night, but we had some incredible musicians in 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. The picture on the left, I like to go up into the band room. There's a little practice room up there. I like to take the overhead shot. So that was every single one of our 5th through 8th grade band members playing one song at the end of the concert, which was really cool. And then on the right is Mr. Wardy with one of the choirs. It's just amazing to listen. I mean, I've talked about the 5th grade band where I heard their first note, which was less than the best music that I'd heard all year long, until we got to this where they were actually able to play along with our 7th and 8th grade band. So that was pretty amazing. Our jazz band is beyond compare. I get a lot of comments about our jazz band, and their talent level is just way up there. And now the band, Mr. Jupp and Mr. Warney are doing their best to continue to grow the opportunities for music for our kids. So some of those elective opportunities, looking really forward to seeing what comes next. So concerts were very well attended. And we just had 2 Eagle Scout projects that were done. The one on the left, there are 6 benches that have been put together by one of our former students, and they also planted 6 maple trees out by our community garden, which when they get big enough, John's going to take care of moving those to places around the district that will be provide shade possibly closer to our playground systems. And then the other one on the right are bluebird houses that they're spanning the perimeter of our school, and actually one of them has already got, I'm not sure what kind of bird is in it because I didn't poke my head in the hole, but up in the front there's a bird that has taken up shop there. So what's really cool about our Eagle Scout projects is these kids come back because they had a really good experience in Merton and they want to be able to share things. So we've had the painting going up the stairwell that used to just be a not really pleasant color to look at, and we had one of our Eagle Scouts take care of that. We've had murals made. That's just amazing when the kids come back. Benches out by our community garden, just a lot of different things. So it's great to see the kids give back. 5th grade camp was just last week, and the weather forecast did not look good, but it wound up being pretty cool. Actually pretty warm on one of the days. Rock climbing wall, there's some kids out there canoeing. The wind was amazing the day that I was out there, so they all wound up in one corner of the lake and somehow were able to get their way back to where they had started from. And then the picture on the right, although it's kind of crooked, what they had to do is, this is a platform that's like a seesaw, and they had to be able to hold all 4 corners, the whole thing off the ground for a minute. So they just went through an exercise, just the kids talking to figure out how they could do that. They had everybody standing, and then all of a sudden they realized that they sat down, there was less movement, and the only girl standing is the one who ultimately became the one who was able to balance things out. So it was just really cool to watch them work through that whole process. They've already signed up for camp for next year, so that's all set. Ms. Kreuzer went in place of Mrs. Jones just because there's a lot of walking around that happens there, so it was nice for Ms. Kreuzer to do that. Mr. Hanrahan had never been to camp. All he could do was smile every time I talked to him about it. Mrs. Stolper really enjoys it, so did Mrs. Zerwanka. So we had a couple of new people that went, and it was really a great experience for our kids. And then just some hands-on learning pictures. So on the left are some of our 6th graders dissecting a frog. We have some great parent volunteers and grandparent volunteers that came in to help out with the frog dissection on the left. In the middle is one of our whiteboard tables, and that young man there is learning geometry in 7th grade with the help of Dr. Russ from time to time, because it's way past what I'm able to take care of. But here he is using a whiteboard to figure things out on his own. So that's a very self-directed learner. He's very passionate about that. And on the right are some Lego robotics kids. That's one of our 5th and 6th grade electives that we happen to have.
There we are.
What a great picture.
What a great picture. Just got the one on the left from the state today. All 114 districts, or 40, whatever the number was.
Not districts.
Schools, thank you. I had a picture with the state superintendent, Carolyn, and there's it's a real cool setting for when we received the award there in the rotunda. And the Richland Center Orchestra played, and it was fabulous. The acoustics in that place are remarkable. So that was fun. I just put the dates up there. Although not consecutive, there are some districts that have 5, 10, and 15 years consecutive awards for high performance and closing the gap. So, but I'm extremely proud of our staff and what gets done. Yeah, here's, this is on their way down. This is on campus before they left on their way to Discovery World. They had a great day. Mr. Fry said it was fabulous downtown Discovery World, and they learned a ton and went. The modules there, coordinated with the modules we have in class, so they're all ready to go, and the chaperones were smiling when they came back too, so it was a good sign. PTO staff appreciation a couple of weeks ago was remarkable. This was a part of the decorations of our lounge. Again, they had the, what do they call it, the SS Merton?
Yes.
For super staff, and the theme was just fabulous. And the lunches, the breakfast, the little tokens of appreciation were
Water bottle.
the water bottle were remarkable. So again, it's an amazing group of people, and all the people who contribute to this. FOSS Science. I was trying to remember if I shared this with you, but one thing that I really like what our kids do is they demonstrate their level of understanding. It's not just, okay, how'd you do on the test? They have to go in and prove what they designed. We have the egg crack ramp, and this is where the kids have designed a way to keep erosion from damaging a house they built. And then they had to measure how much water would be a fair test to test the stability of the home. And so here they are in Makerspace, because it was the Makerspace day off on Wednesday. So Diane and Clary and Melissa Krugman brought their kids in, and the excitement in there was like, the kids were really amped up about it. They said, well, what happens if we pour all the water at once? Well, that wasn't part of the calculation. You can only pour the water, 500 cc's of the water at a certain rate, and so it was all calculated out. But they're very proud of their designs. This was fun. The annual trivia night, auction item. Can we identify kids here? No, we can't. Should we? No. Do we? No, we don't do that. No, we don't.
Probably.
Anyway, this 4th grade student had a great time with me, and she just didn't want to let go of that radio. That was, I'm talking about, power thing. With power, she was over the edge. So she really had a good time, and she barked a couple times, and I was like, so it was a fun day for her. The kids today were testing kites. If it would have been like this weekend sometime, it would have been much better, but they sure tried. They really tried. And Mr. Hines' kids were out there. Those are self-designed, self-built kites, and a little more breeze would have helped. And they also discovered that you have to run into the wind and not with the wind, and sometimes they were just running around with the kite. But it was, the kids were trying. So it's, so watching kids demonstrate what they're learning is probably one of the best parts of what we do, not just a paper test and a percentage, but let's see if it works. So that's what I have.
That's all we got, but I have to just say one thing before. It's been 12 years.
Yep.
Sitting next to this guy. One of the reasons I came here was because of Mike. One of the reasons I stayed here was because of Mike. What he does for our kids and our community, our families, and our staff is beyond compare. And I couldn't think of having a better mentor for the last 12 years than I have with Mike. So thank you, Mike.
You're welcome. I'll catch you after the meeting.
Okay. Just small bills this time, okay?
Actually, I think we can, we know we're gonna talk solar first. That's right.
Solar first.
Yeah, we'll solar first.
All right, so, new business, solar.
All right, solar. So, our dream of a large system, over 300 kilowatt AC, has been tamed a little bit by the We Energy. So, what we have going on right now is we have both Sunvest and Arch creating a new proposal at 300 kilowatt AC and something that will pass We Energy's approval. Ultimately, they are always kind of the end user that needs to say yes as well. So on Friday, we are going to Madison College to see one of the systems. They have at Madison College has a very large system, but is identical to the one that we are going to be putting on, or we would be putting on our roof. 10-degree angle, ballasted roof, the whole 9 yards. So taking a field trip with John, Sherry, and myself. Going to be heading over Friday to go see that.
And that's the example from
Sunvest. Yep. Early next week, we will be going over to Arch and Lakeland Supply right over here off of 94 and things like that. We're still working on that date with those guys. A couple things to keep in mind, timeline. The main grant for this project is called the RECIP grant, which is the Focus on Energy grant. That is due June 14th. So if we are anticipating moving forward with this summer and early next fall, we would need to make a decision fairly quickly, by early next week, truly. I did forward to the board Sunvest's new proposal. Arches should be coming any day now as well. So if we want to, we can meet next week, kind of rehash what it is, because the RECIP grant would be then created by the company of choice. And they need about a week to do that. Now, if we want to wait until the fall, there will be another grant opportunity. That deadline will be right around that September 15th. So it just pushes the project back a few months, if that's something. So I think they can install them, November, December-ish, compared to, August, September, and things like that.
Do you know, are both of the companies that we are working with still, they both have availability to install this summer yet?
Yep.
Or for the
no,
earlier time?
before, they would be installing right around anywhere. One company says they still can hit the September, October deadline. The other one has said November is probably a more realistic expectation.
So, waiting for the second grant opportunity wouldn't impact that timeline much?
I can't say it would or wouldn't. I don't have that information.
When we met last, we discussed the idea of getting a third-party consultant of some sort, and you or John or someone had ended up speaking with someone from We Energies.
So I did speak to a consultant that could possibly come in. He said it's something that they typically don't do, but they said they would be able to take a look at the system, take a look at some of the equipment that is being recommended, and give a suggestion from that standpoint. The efficiency standpoint, they said they could run efficiencies, but then they also directed me to, well, you can double check that with We Energies. So,
Sure, yeah.
the consultant said that he would charge $175 an hour, straight, and they would look at both proposals and then create a document for the board to say this is what we think.
Well, and we've already internally verified their efficiencies and kind of done that level of
With
comparison.
reference checks, correct. He wasn't really, he thought it wouldn't be a great use,
Not a great value.
a great value,
Sure.
to be honest. He was just like, no. But We Energies was something of great value. So obviously, that triggered a, hey, your system's too big.
Mhm.
But it also looked at the system's predicted output. Now again, this is we're gonna be looking at different systems now,
Sure.
these smaller systems. But they did mention that the company who was giving us a performance guarantee is predicting a lot less than what their numbers ran, what they would see. So the annual prediction, the annual output of electricity,
Yes.
the one who supplied a performance guarantee, they said their numbers were low compared to what We Energies ran.
Which is what we saw based on what their soil rate was for the panels throughout the year, right? That was the big difference between the two analyses from the different vendors is effectively how dirty are your solar panels throughout the year. The
Correct.
one with the performance guarantee had the panels assumed to be more soiled, which would make them produce less.
Produce less.
So that is the lever they were able to use to make that happen.
Correct, but the performance guarantee was 90% of this number.
Yeah.
So We Energies did agree that that would be like, I'm gonna under-promise and over-deliver for you. The other company, they highlighted, is over-predicting the value of solar from what their numbers would run to say the other company has, what they put on paper would be much higher than what We Energies would expect.
Did they quantify that comment?
Yes. They said, okay, I don't have my notes in front of me.
I just wondered, is it 50%? Is it 5%? And
About 28,000, my memory serves me right, which I think it is right here. About 28,000 kilowatts more. 26,000 kilowatts, 26 or 28,000 kilowatts more than what We Energies would say
and that
would
was
happen.
on, what size was that system there? That was the 600?
That was the
kilowatt.
smaller system,
The smaller.
correct.
Well, that was the smaller.
The smaller, but
And
they also did both of them,
And
and
they
they
took
said,
into account the different angles between the two?
he said that that was not a very big deal in Wisconsin. He wouldn't see that as a deal breaker at all. And he put in the degrees and everything that they did.
I was just trying to figure out with 28,000 kilowatt hours or whatever, what is that as a percentage of the total is what I guess I don't have the.
I'd have to pull up the proposal.
Because again, if it's 2%, then,
Mhm.
whatever. If it's 20%, then, well, that's.
That's a big deal.
Big deal.
I'd have to get that
We'd have to
percentage.
Look at that,
I'd
okay.
have to do that percentage.
Okay.
I know the company with the performance guarantee was 9,800 kilowatts short about what We Energies would have expected.
With the other one being 27,000 over.
Correct.
Okay.
Right around there.
Okay.
So, but percentage-wise, I'd have to run those numbers, Phil, for you.
Okay.
So that's the information that we found out through We Energies. And we also asked both companies to make sure that the proposals they put forward is going to get We Energies approval. So they said they would be working with the We Energy higher ups.
And do we have an idea of when we're going to hear from the second company?
Should be any day, hopefully tomorrow.
Okay. Do you know, is Dean around, available next week?
Dean is not here until June 5th.
Okay. So, yeah, that would be pushing it. But I mean, technically, we still could make a meeting include Dean and still make the June 14th
Right,
deadline.
we could also see, correct, by June 5th, we'd have to have a decision for sure, by June 5th. Now, could we get Dean to teleconference in? That might work. I have to talk to him about that.
I don't, yeah, I guess I personally don't know that I would want to make that decision without Dean, especially since he is one of the facilities committee people. I guess I don't know how the rest of everyone feels, but it seems like a good decision.
I'm in agreement.
Yes. So I guess let's wait to see when we get the contract, and then we can try and pull together a meeting, either, you know, having Dean call in or having him here.
Let me see when I can get Dean's opinion.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. He might be willing to just render an opinion, and that would be fine too.
Correct. So what we'll do for, in the agenda item of future meetings, we'll talk about possibly setting some times for that.
Okay.
Great.
All right, on to the budget presentation.
Perfect.
All right, thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. In honor of Mike's last meeting, I'm going to try to make this agenda as riveting as possible in your honor. But please bear with me, I'm dealing with spreadsheets and numbers, so I can only do so much. So we'll work through the agenda tonight. I always like to start with the mission and values, go over some of the district initiatives that is within the budget proposal, talk about our development timeline, some assumptions, take a look at our membership numbers, look at our revenues, our decreasing aid, our expenses, and finally, the exciting part is the tax levy and mill rate proposed for next year. So I know you are all very familiar with our mission and vision statements. I just love to highlight it because I expect you will see some of the budget supporting these things, and that's very, very important. So I will get to our district initiatives here. For 1920, we are highlighting, of course, the new curriculum that you've heard about. We're doing that for PE and health, and also writing, and that's for the whole school, 5K through 8th grade. And then the professional development to go with that, we'll be supporting that new writing curriculum, and we're also doing some professional development around social emotional learning. And so I don't know how many, I'm sure all of you know exactly what it means, but I like to look that up and see what is that. It seems a really hot topic, but that's truly to establish and maintain positive relationships, making responsible decisions, managing your emotions, and setting and achieving goals. All really great life skills. And then on the facility and technology, we're looking at the new intermediate school playground turf surface. And we did find out the PTO is donating a little bit. I don't have that in here yet, but that will be added. As I said, this is very preliminary. That'll be coming in October, okay? We have solar panel project. I have that in here, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. That probably is going to change. As you can tell, the discussions are continually happening. I'm not sure exactly where that's going to end up right now. We're going to continue with our roof replacements. We have our LED bulb replacements at the primary school classrooms. We're going to be redoing the intermediate school cafeteria and common ceilings. Those right now are a little bit yellow and saggy, so we're going to make some great improvements in there. I have in here an intermediate school shower facility upgrades. That's something that, of course, is up for more discussion and depending where our budget turns out. As we discussed before, we have a 4th grade Chromebook replacement. That's in here. We're adding our InformaCast system, and also adding safety film on the doors and windows to continue improving our safety here at the school. So those are the big initiatives that we have, and this is just a recap of our budget development timeline, the important dates coming up, which will make changes to this preliminary budget. So at this meeting, you're obviously seeing the presentation, and then a little bit later, we're going to ask the board to make approval so that we can start spending money come July 1st. And then in September, we have our annual meeting and budget hearing. And the really important thing is that third Friday enrollment count, that drives a lot of our information and a lot of our numbers. In October, we keep receiving more information. We'll receive our equalized property valuations from the Department of Revenue. We'll also receive our certification of our state aid. That comes the 15th of October. And then towards the end of October, the board will certify our tax levy to the municipalities for the next school year. All right. So, some of our budget assumptions. We did agree with the union, a 2.44% increase in salaries for our teachers, administrators, and support staff. That is what CPI was for this school year. So that was all agreed upon. We have a 9.9% increase in health insurance premiums, which was a lot of work on our co-op's part to keep those as low as possible. They came in a lot higher and there was a cap on it for this year. So we're hoping that our trend does go down in the future, not a guarantee for next year. We are not going to replace one of our literacy coaches, but we are adding a 5K teacher. We're receiving a couple more students we're anticipating into the 5K. And for 4K, our numbers are looking to go back to kind of where they were in prior years. So we're decreasing that from 2 full-time positions to 1.5 full-time position. We are estimating a 5% increase in our property values for next year. I can tell you last year it was a 5.5% increase. The year before it was a 5.75, so we've been trending down a little bit. So we're going with 5% right now. I'm not anticipating any change in our open enrollment figures. That's how many students are coming in and how many are leaving for other districts. That's very hard to predict at this time until we have more of the September count, so we'll leave that the same. And I am estimating taking $250,000 from the fund balance for the solar project. And that is very much subject to change. That is just baked in right now, but probably will change. I can guarantee it'll change. Okay. So I want you to know that this is like the worst case budget scenario at this point. This is a 0 increase. It's what our current laws are. And right now you know that the governor is, he has presented a new budget for the 1921 years. And actually the JFC, the Joint Finance Committee, they just put together their proposal last week, Thursday. So it's in continual changing, continual motion right now. But my fun part that I love doing here is that I ran some preliminary numbers using our Baird model. And so this will tell you, if this happens, how much will Merton actually receive? So I looked at the per pupil categorical aid increase. That would provide us about $18,000. The JFC in their proposal, they just increased it to $679. So looking at a little bit more. We have the revenue limit per pupil increase to add $200 per member. That would provide us an additional $78,000 or so. And the JFC, they just proposed $175. So it's a little bit lower than that. Our low revenue ceiling increased from 95 to 97. And that is exactly what the JFC has in the proposal right now. And that's a great thing for us because that gives us the biggest bang, over $150,000 in additional revenue. And then the special ed categorical aid increase from 24.5 to 30% gives us about $57,000. And the JFC just had in their proposal to increase to only 26%. So that's not a lot of money for us. But it's kind of fun to run those different scenarios and see what might be coming our way. Because I'm hoping money comes our way. The next steps are the proposal will be given eventually to the governor, and he will have the opportunity to line veto some of these things out if he chooses. So we'll see what happens. All right, so membership and the revenue limit. That is this fun sheet here that you are all very excited to take a look at, I know. And this revenue limit, it always controls 2 sources of our revenue. That's going to be our state general aid and our property taxes. That's what this controls. And it is calculated through actually a very long formula. There's 2 sides to this page that calculates it out. So we've had a little bit of changes I'm expecting with our membership numbers. It's starting to decline, or it's starting to slow down our decline in students. So I'm expecting our student count to be the same as last year, is what I'm kind of estimating. So how does that affect it? Well, this is all built on a 3-year rolling average. And so I'm anticipating a decrease of 5 FTE for this school year. But what's interesting is in the past, last year we had 19 FTE, and the year before 21 FTE that it decreased by. So you can see this trend, it's starting to slow, and that's where we're actually going to feel a little crunch in our revenue. In the past, with that large number of declining, we were given exemptions in our revenue limit worksheet, which is actually on the second back page. And those are disappearing, are getting very small, okay? So, all right. So let's take a look then, whoops, wrong way, at our revenues. Maybe. Maybe not.
Here you go.
Should we go?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Okay. So, okay, as I said, this worksheet, this is actually controlling 80% of our revenues that is coming in, okay? So I am estimating about 221,000 less revenue than last year is what we'll be receiving. We're also, this includes 77,500 less in DOJ grants. I haven't heard any talk of there being additional funds for next year. And about 22,000 less in categorical aid for a projected total of about $360,000 less in revenue. Now, of course, these are all estimates, so you know, depending on what the government passes, it could certainly change. So then our decreasing aid, this you've seen for quite a while, and this aid formula is to distribute tax dollars across the state so that students are funded roughly at the same per member amount. And as you know, there's that inverse relationship. The graph on the top is showing the blue is our district, the red is the state average. And we've been increasing our property values faster than the state average has. So the bottom graph, it's hard to see, sorry, but it is declining. And so overall, just expecting about $11,000 right now in less aid for next year. I'm going to change up those colors next year, Mike. You're going to miss it.
All come.
You can just watch it online, Mike.
This doesn't really want to work for me. I don't know. Oh, there it goes. All right, surprise. All right, expenses. So my expenditures I've created with those district initiatives, taking into account the new salaries, benefits, as best as we can estimate at this time, it's looking about $4,800 less. So what does that mean? We have about $480,000 that we would take from our fund balance or in a deficit for next year. And this spreadsheet that I handed you has a little bit more detail than you're seeing on the screen of the numbers that create our revenues, and on the back side the expenditures, and then you can see the total at the bottom for that. Again, worst case scenario, please don't be alarmed at this. There's a lot still, you know, in the works to figure that out. But when you do look at this, our salary and benefits, they are actually about 64%, and that does not include any of our special ed staff. So you start adding the teachers and the aides, it's certainly significantly higher than that 64%. Just a reminder that $250 for the solar project is coming out of the purchase services in this area, so that is subject to change too. And after our audit is complete in August, that'll give us a good picture of where our fund balance is actually at, and we can make some really good decisions based on that with our budget going into October.
So these expenses include the solar? the
It does,
$250 solar. Okay.
yes, it
There's-
does.
With that aside, there's
Right,
230, effectively, that's going
Yeah.
from one balance to zero.
exactly. All right, and then the exciting part, which I know our taxpayers will be very happy to see is another decrease in our levy, down to $4.15 per thousand of your equalized value of your home, which is actually a 43-cent decrease again from last year. So just proposed $300,000 valued home, $1,245 in taxes, and that's a decrease of $129 from last year. So, are there any questions about this?
I think the answer is yes, but this is,
Yes.
this is, that tax levy represents the maximum that we can do right now, right? That's taxes
Yes,
to the revenue
it
limit.
is to the
Yeah.
limit, correct, yes.
Are you expecting the number to go up or down for that solar project? For the
I'm expecting it to go down. I can't really speak for the whole board, but I'm thinking just with the smaller size, that's my best guess with the new cap that We Energies proposed. Well, I guess we'll have to see, we'll have to run some numbers, and I've been in talks with local banks and getting quotes if we do borrow. That's a whole nother aspect that we're looking at, so there's a lot of pieces going into that. I can't say exactly.
Yeah, that number just represents if we want to spend money we currently have as opposed to taking a loan for the entire project and how we want
Right.
to split that to
Yeah.
move the payoff dates and, you know, all the financial analysis fun part of
Yeah,
solar.
and that has been a little bit of a moving target right now, so.
Yeah, but you were correct in kind of asserting that the overall price that we have been talking about is obviously going to be less because we're making a system that's smaller than we initially were talking about.
And what's the percentage smaller?
Basically half.
Almost half. We were going from a 552 kilowatt AC system to 300. No, the first round of proposals were right around $750,000 approximately. So percentage-wise, it probably about 40% is cheap.
Okay.
Approximately.
I love that, I love that little stuff happen, and make my budget easier, very happy. I always tell that to John Nuttishine too, he always is saving me money, keep finding me stuff.
Yeah, because like inverter matching
Yeah,
panels and all, yeah.
It won't be a one-to-one, like a kilowatt does not typically cost this much.
Right.
You know, the cost of getting it in a year or stuff like that.
Yeah. Second question would be around, you mentioned that 64%, I think it was. didn't
Yeah,
include-
salaries and benefits.
How come you don't include the special ed and other teachers?
Because this is just looking at the general fund, Fund 10,
Okay.
that's
All right.
why.
Okay.
I could certainly add that in the future, and it does break it out on the sheet a little bit for that information, yeah. But generally, Fund 10 is your biggest pot of money.
Well, that kind of boils down to like the money that we get from federal and other sources that can pay for special ed things is
Right.
different
A
than,
huge chunk
so
of,
it kind of, that's why it all gets kept separate.
Yeah.
yeah.
Don't you have a line item for Fund 10, or Fund 27 transfer though? Correct.
I do, yes.
Yeah,
that is
that's
in
how
the
we account for
presentation,
special
yeah.
education funds.
Yeah, that comes out of Fund 10.
And I love the charts.
Oh, well, I think I need to make them a little better.
Just change
for
your
next year,
background,
right?
so
Change
white
the
background.
backgrounds,
That
yeah.
way better.
Yeah,
You're
I'll
rock.
make that improvement, thank you guys, appreciate it.
Thank you, Sherry.
Thank you.
All right, on to adoption of the proposed budget.
Again, like Sherry said, we're just looking for a motion to approve the proposed budget, preliminary budget, 2019-20 budget as presented. So, because once July 1st starts, we have something to work off of. So, I'm just looking for a motion to approve the proposed preliminary 2019-20 budget as presented.
I'll make a motion to approve the proposed preliminary 2019-20 budget as presented. I'll second.
The motion and a second, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. On to the writing curriculum.
And this is our second review of a year-long work of progress from our Student Achievement Committee, as well as various teacher representatives from each grade level. So again, the final reading, so the administration and the Student Achievement Committee is recommending the board approve the new writing curriculum as presented.
I'll make a motion to approve the new writing curriculum as presented. I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. All right, writing, Phi Ed and health.
Yep,
New curriculum.
same thing. This is year-long work, second reading. The administration and Student Achievement Committee is recommending the board make a motion to approve the proposed physical education and health curriculum as presented.
I'll make a motion to approve the proposed physical education and health curriculum as presented.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. On to employee handbook.
Okay, sure. This is, again, July 1st marks a new year for the Merton Community School District, and every May we bring corrections, additions, any modifications to the employee handbook, as we discovered throughout the past year, pretty much. So, as you can see in front of you, we have a few updates. One being updating the locations from the PO boxes to new addresses. Again, just cleaning up some stuff. Meal reimbursements, which the business office has.
I receive questions for when people are going to conferences, how much, so I thought having a guideline would be.
We have that in our fiscal guidelines, kind of in our financial policies, I should say financial procedures, not policies, but make it very clear for folks, clarifying some language on eligibility, who can be enrolled. I suppose I missed number 3, which was instructional assistants. In the past, I don't know how much we even did this anyway.
Yeah, it happens.
It happens,
every year.
yeah, every year. So, so now if we take that language out, someone who is substituting for another instructional assistant will receive their current rate of pay. Instead of bringing it down to $10 an hour, they would stay at whatever their current rate of pay is. So, again, it does incentivize them, and it cleans things up a lot easier too, as well on timesheets and things. So. Co-curricular staff just wanted to update what we were paying everyone and added some new positions that have come across, like the theater, encore choir, jazz bands, and things like that. The sample summer school teacher contract, we never sent those out.
Yeah.
So we just took it out.
So I thought, clean up.
And then obviously updating some dates. That's about it.
But there is a summer school teacher contract, it's just,
No, they don't have a contract. Actually, the teachers use timesheets, so there's no need to have a contract.
So what happens though is Dawn and Stephanie they're kind of the lead people on there, and they'll say, hey, you go to work June or July, great, this is your hours, thank you, and it's kind of an agreement
okay.
between a sign here and those two, so. Yeah. We don't have them like a letter of appointment or a commitment letter, it's just hourly timesheet.
Got it.
We do treat them as employees though.
Yep,
New employees have to go through all the background checks and
Yep.
physicals and things like that too as well. So, again, in June, we will bring, again, if you have any questions or any other comments or concerns, we will bring it for full approval in June. Moving on.
On to the letters of appointments.
Okay, so the letters of appointment are for basically non-contracted staff. So anyone who isn't an administrator or a teacher gets a letter of appointment. So we do this in May to make sure that people are aware about what we want them to do for next year. Our principals then hand those out after this is approved and say, hey, so-and-so, we need you in the area of special ed again for 7 hours or whatever it is. So, so you've seen the letters of appointment, and the administration is recommending the board approve the 2019-20 letters of appointments as presented.
I'll make a motion to approve the 2019-20 letters of appointment as presented.
Second.
Motion and second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the fact that we have, and Lori and Jay, I think will echo this, the instructional assistants we have, particularly in special education, are remarkable. That is, to keep these people around and maintain relationships with the kids and the families is just invaluable. I think it's one of the things that makes our school so incredible, and the kids' performance and progress, just something that we can really enjoy and reflect on it. They're in great hands. And so the conversations that we have with them they are valued. They're very valued. And we had a mom at an IEP say, she doesn't say any good things about our special education aides because she's afraid that more people will come here and then they'll be not able to spend so much time with their child. And everybody around the table just really embraced it as what an incredible compliment. So I just want to say that on behalf of us that they are, and they keep coming back, and we don't have to search and look. And other districts don't have that luxury. They're scrambling for people, and so I just want to go on the record and say that.
Open enrollment, student approvals.
Sure. Back in January, the board set seat limits and things. So as you can see in the board packet, that basically we were unlimited in regular education, for K through 7th grade, and 8th grade we had 3 seats, just based on class sizes and things like that. The other piece to the approval in January was that our special education program was full outside of speech-only IEPs. So, as you can see in the board packet, we did have one child apply for open enrollment with an IEP larger than speech. So, hence the reason for the recommendation for us to move forward with recommending the board make a motion to approve all open enrollment applications not incoming with an expulsion order or an IEP not covering speech-only services.
Okay. I will make a motion to approve. Make a motion to approve all open enrollment applications not incoming with an expulsion order or an IEP not covering speech-only services.
I'll second.
Motion is second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Okay. The other piece that needs to be motioned, it's okay, you might need it, is that we also had 15 students open enroll out of the district, and we are required by law to grant that. We can't say no, but it still has to be on the record. So the administration is recommending the board make a motion to approve all students who have applied out of the Merton Community School District.
There's a question.
Yes.
So are these new students applying out, or are these similar?
We have not one of these students currently attend the Merton Community School
So
District.
is that a yearly process that they have to apply to enroll out?
No. Once you apply out, 1 year, you don't need to reapply out of the district. Most of these we see to be in 4K or 5K.
Okay.
And we reach out to them, we send them a letter that says, hey, just so you know, we're your public school, and we understand that you might have applied out. Remember, here we are, here's some information about us too as well. So, but not one student attending 4K through 7th grade currently in our district has applied to open enrollment out of the district.
Okay.
So what we see a lot is no different than what our families do is they might relocate within another feeder school and they want to stay there. So we see that quite a bit. So a kid comes from Swallow, moves into the Merton Community School District. We've never educated them, but the family wants to keep them going to Swallow or Mesa or whatever it might be.
So does this number remain pretty consistent?
I don't know, I'd have to double check what that is.
I'm not sure, but it's good to know that there
Yep.
our trend.
And
Many years.
I'd have to probably check the bar, I can see what that is. The nice part about the open enrollment out is they do count on our revenue limit. So we will get approximately $9,700, but we'll have to pay $6,728 or whatever it is, so we do gain about $3,000.
I will make a motion to approve all students who have applied out of Merton Community School District, 15 students from 10 families.
I'll second.
Motion and a second, is there any discussion? I had a question, so we
Yeah,
already did discussion,
go ahead.
but that's all right. You had a note that one of the students currently attends Merton, so the implication is that that must be an 8th grader then?
One of the students?
On the notes.
Only one of these students who currently attend, oh, I'm sorry, I thought we were 0. Barb fixed that up, so she must have fixed that before. I didn't see that. So I'm not sure who that one student is, but again, we do take a look at the list, and we do make those phone calls and things like that too as well. Yeah, I did not see that. Let me look. To find out who that is.
Does that information get, as a whole, get tracked over time? Right, I mean, there's 1 or 2 here every year. You know, do we kind of document this somewhere in a more concise format of over the past however many years of the people that have gone to school here, this is why they're leaving?
Well, last year we didn't lose anybody. The year before we lost 2 or 3. So it's not a big number that goes.
Sure.
But we can track. Do you want me to dig
It
that
would
up?
be interesting just, you know,
Open
for
enrollment.
whatever couple of years we have,
Sure.
and then to just, you know, on an ongoing basis, track that, just so that we stay informed about our performance, right? I mean, because for better or worse, this is a reflection on,
Yes, retention. Yep.
potentially a reflection on the school. It may have nothing to do with us.
So
I
when
think
you
it
say
is.
last year we didn't lose anybody, does that mean we didn't lose anybody to another public school?
Public school.
Okay,
To another public school. Correct.
because other people did leave, just not for public school.
Not for public school. Correct. Yeah. Correct. Because once they leave us for a private school, they come off our books.
Right.
Yep. Then there's no enrollment charge outside of the 3-year rolling average.
All right, so we had a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Unfortunately, we do not have a 6603 agreement yet.
Okay.
Lori's been trying to bring that in June. We will bring that in June. And it wasn't for lack of effort, that's for sure. I think they're sick and tired of hearing from Laura. Ron keeps asking. So,
All right, then on to technology purchases.
all right. So, big thank you to Jim, who has collected all of our quotes from for Chromebooks and looking forward to purchasing those in preparation for the 2019-20 school year. We are looking at, as part of our ongoing continuous replacement, we're looking at 80 Chromebooks to replace 3rd grade, or to replace them out with 3rd grade that are no longer supported through Google. Again, you can see the price of the Chromebooks. We also are looking for 70 Chromebooks to sell or to lease to our incoming 5th graders as part of our lease to own program. We purchase them and then they buy them back from us. And then we're also looking for some, I think you updated this since I'm reading off the paper. 10 Chromebooks for additional 5K classrooms, not the makerspaces.
Read the first part off the computer also.
What's that?
Start at the top, just start at the top.
For some reason, this is for 4th grade. I'm sorry. I need
And
to
it's a
update
different
that.
number.
Different number. So I'm sorry, we're looking for 92 Chromebooks for 4th grade. We did the 3rd grade last year. I was like, this doesn't sound right, but that's what it says on paper. Then 68 for the lease to owns, and then 10 for the additional 5K classrooms. So that we're looking for. Right now, we're continuing to get those bids and things like that. We will be pretty proactive with this, as we know that prices continue to rise, the tariffs continue to affect the cost of the technology coming over from China. Hence the reason why we are looking for a not to exceed purchase price. So we can continue to grab those, and as soon as we got all of our quotes, to move forward with that. So 2 motions we're looking for. One is for the student fee for the lease-to-own program, which has gone up a little bit based on the device cost. But the first recommendation in the motion, we're looking to approve the purchase of Chromebooks, cases, and management licenses not to exceed $42,653.
I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of Chromebooks, cases, and management licenses not to exceed $42,653.
I'll second.
Motion is second, is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
All right. The next motion would be the administration is recommending the board approve the school fee of $245 for the 5th grade students as part of the lease-to-own program for those who decide to purchase it. So just looking for a motion to approve $245 for the lease-to-own program for the 2019-20 school year.
I'll make a motion for the school fee of $245 for 5th grade students as part of the lease-to-own program.
Okay.
Motion is second, is there any discussion?
What was the increase?
Jim, last year it was 200, wasn't it?
It was 215,
215.
yes.
215.
And pretty much across the board, Chromebooks are going up anywhere from $20 to $30, no matter who it is, simply because of the tariffs. That's what I get from everybody.
Oh,
So,
Their maintenance fee or whatever, the management license, that's how stays, but that's been pretty steady, right? They're not-
yeah, the management license, I always put that out as part of the request process. This year is actually about $1 lower than it's been in the past, but it's always between, that 25 or a little bit under that, so.
But yes, it's been consistent.
Yep.
we have a motion in a second, right?
Mhm.
For the second one? Okay. All right, all those in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right, future meetings.
All right, what does everybody's next week look like? Other than crazy. Ridiculous. The reason for next week's meeting
Is the sun panel?
is the solar. Yep. We do have graduation on the 6th, so it sounds like we're going to have a quorum there. We will be posting accordingly there, so thank you.
Just do it that way.
Please no.
We do it after.
Kidding.
Oh,
I
okay.
have guests in town that day, that's not gonna work. After,
Take her walk.
after graduation.
What do we want to do before that?
Before that is as far
As
as
in like,
Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday?
No,
or
like the day of
the
the
day of
6th,
the-
time-wise before.
What time is graduation?
7, right? Jim?
7 o'clock. So if we met at 6, I don't know how long,
We'll have the
You're
proposals in
you're
here.
pushing my ability to get ready for graduation, come home from finals, and, yeah, traveling from the city.
Just 6, are we going to need more than 30 minutes if we already have all the proposals and proposals?
that's what I don't know that we would.
Right.
I mean,
We could probably do 6:15. Makes no difference to me. I'm available.
Is that reasonable though?
Is there another day that isn't, because you have finals all week.
I have finals Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And Thursday, I also have a meeting with my principal, so Thursday, it's a day.
So what about Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday? The backup plan though, Dean will be here for sure.
On the
On the
Thursday.
6th. On the 6th. And not to say I can't grab him on the phone or I can talk to him. But is there any other dates that week, either on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday that would work?
I can do Monday or
Monday.
Wednesday.
Monday would be my preference.
I can't do Tuesday. I'm sorry. Unless like, I need to be in Waukesha at 7 o'clock on Tuesday.
I'm open. I can make anything happen.
As long as you can get me out here at 6:40.
On Tuesday?
On
Didn't
Tuesday.
seem like Tuesday was a good day though. Tuesdays.
If we did out. Oh, you can't do Tuesday?
That would be really rough. And Wednesday.
Okay. So then there is not a day when it's not going to be difficult for someone
somebody,
during that.
right.
Yeah. So I guess then we need to decide, do we want to just accept the fact that someone won't be there?
If that's the case, I'd go with the 6th because then you know for sure Dean.
I would go Thursday.
Yeah.
The safest bet is Thursday. And we can go at 6:15.
Let's do that, and then if you're already planning on being here at 7, if you can even make
Yeah.
Like
towards the end
Jennifer,
of that
we will
meeting
talk
or
about a
something.
reserved parking spot for you.
I'm fucking from home at this point.
it,
Okay,
then even if you're here by 6:45,
All right, so we'll go 6:15
on the 6th.
on the 6th. Okay. Yep. Okay, now, so we look
Where are we
forward.
gonna have that, so?
It will be in the conference
Right
room.
there, got it.
Jake, I should check that.
Sure.
Can you guys use the conference
We'll
room?
be in here with the air conditioner way up.
Okay, all right.
Sounds like a plan.
Otherwise, it's gonna smell like 8th grade.
So, later in June, do we want to meet on the 17th or the 24th, or is there a different day we wanted to take a look at? Because I know you're probably out. Yep. For each of them.
All right, what dates?
17th or 24th?
I'm in Michigan for graduation the weekend of the 15th, 16th, and 17th. Like, I'm coming back on the 17th, but I don't know what time I'll actually stroll back into
Back
town.
into town? Do we want to go on the 24th?
24th is fine.
Jennifer, are you good for the
I'm
24th?
good.
Okay.
I'm on
So we'll go, yeah, because I know, and Dean's schedule will.
6 o'clock for the summer ones?
Did you want to do 6? We can do 6.
Uh-huh.
6 o'clock, 7, what do you think? Okay, we'll go 6 o'clock.
6 a.m. 's good with me.
I'm not gonna get up early.
It's not children's day.
All right, so we'll go to the 24th. Did we want to set the July meeting for summer planning? I can't do the 29th. What about the 22nd?
That's, summer school's still in session then, right? That
Correct.
week?
Yes.
Yep.
22nd works.
The 29th is camp invention. 22nd?
Yeah, I'll be out of town, so.
All summer.
No, just half of June, that day. Well,
Do we want to shoot for the 22nd then? Or the 15th? I mean,
I'm not around.
22nd? Okay,
that's fine.
all right. School board meeting. Got it. Okay.
6 again, right?
Yep, we'll go 6. Okay. That's all I got, Phil.
All right. Just gonna make a motion to
I'll make a
adjourn.
motion to
Oh,
adjourn.
good question.
A second?
Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Hi.
Discussion? Opposed, same sign. Motion passes.